Valkyria Chronicles 4 is a great game. I know I should be saving that till the end of the video, but I really need to say it right away because I really like this game. It may be one of the best games I ever played. Maybe in the top 10 of my favorite games of all time, but I still want to give it some time to think about it and replay the whole story over again just to make sure. But either way, this is a great game that you need to pick up. Now, before I begin the actual review, I just want to say that there will be no spoiler in the story, and I'm not counting the DLC story since those are optional. So anyway, let's talk about how great this game, Valkyria Chronicle 4, is. The story follows Squad E that focuses on 4 childhood friends, Claude, Rai, Raz, and Kai. Without saying too much about the story, Claude is the captain of Squad E and it's his job to lead his troop against the Empire. Throughout his mission, there are some struggles of course, like battling new enemies, especially the main Valkyria of the game, Chimera, and even fighting with his own teammates like his rival Minerva, and even his own friends. As for the Empire, it's led by Lord Belgar and has some backstory with one of the members of Squad E, don't want to spoil too much. As for the rest of the members of the Empire, most of them are pretty one-note except for a few. The story itself kept me pretty interested throughout the game. Sure, there are some cliche moments like the romance, but other than that, each time I progress through the story, there always add a little twist that makes me want to play more just to see what happened next. The game is a turn-based RPG with the troops as the playable characters, and each of them have unique abilities, like the scout can travel farther than anyone else but attacks are average, sniper can shoot from a far distance but have weak defense, lancer can blow up tanks and other machines but accuracy is bad when shooting from a far distance. Tanks are high defense, immune to gunshots, but have one major weakness that can be blown up by one shot, so be careful for that. Engineers can repair tanks, resupply ammo to teammates, and fix other stuff on the battlefield. They can be pretty useful, but the main problem is that they're weak on offense and defense. Shock Troopers are probably the most even in abilities wise. They got big firepower, decent defense, but it's pretty short range and can't really do much with tanks. And grenadiers, which I believe is the new class for the series, can blast enemies from a distance, but it's slow moving, so each time you try to move, enemies have a good chance to shooting you and doing a lot of damage. I feel each troop is balanced and each of them has their own value. I know I'm being pretty basic with each of these characters or these troops, but the point I'm trying to make here is that each unit are pretty viable. I never felt like any class is useless. Granted, I may value some classes more, like I really value the scouts and the snipers a lot, and especially the grenadiers. They can be pretty useful, and of course you can improve them by giving them better weapons or giving them orders to increase their stats. But for the most part, I think, on their basic movesets, each of them are pretty great to use. And the gameplay mechanic works very well. I feel like it's balanced and pretty much I could find no problems, at least mechanic-wise. Here's how the battle works. One team will attack first. You command one person at a time and travel the field killing enemies. You can select the same person again and again to defeat enemies, but it's limited each time, usually with less movement or limited ammo depending on which class you are using. After your team is using all its command points, your enemies will go next. You continue this until you complete your objective. There are also other abilities you can learn, but I'll keep that a little secret. it's many potential that each character can use that is pretty much exclusive to them. With gameplay that sounds so repetitive on paper, this game is actually addictive thanks to each new objective of each mission, like capturing bases, rescuing teammates, dealing with your environment, and using it against your enemies as well, defeating the bosses, which are pretty basic, but especially the battle with the Valkyria is always intense, but it's also fun. There's also more, and of course, some of those missions can feel the same, especially the skirmish and the Scar story. But other than that, most of the mission in the main story feels at least unique enough that it doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. My favorite part of this game is actually the other squad members. Most of them have great personalities and backstories. They also have optional stories that help develop the character and expand the chemistry between the squad, and it can also help improve them in battle, especially with the potential that they can have, which gives you either a great advantage or disadvantage. Now, granted, this isn't unique in the Valkyria Chronicles series, but since number 4 is the first one I played, it kind of took me by surprise of how well this is actually adapted to this game. As I said at the beginning of the video, I love this game. I wish I could talk more about it, especially the visual, which, well, it looks better on other consoles and PC. The version I played it on is the Nintendo Switch, which still looks good but a bit inferior. And the music is great until I played Valkyria Chronicles 1, which I found out this is reuse most of the music in that game, so that is a bit disappointing. But despite all that, I still think it's a great game, and I recommend anybody who loves turn-based RPG or just want to get into the Valkyria Chronicles series, you should start with this one, number 4. This is me, Bobbert 3, and I do have future plans for this video game in particular. I have 2 in mind. I definitely want to talk more about it in depth, so stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay to watch more whenever those other videos I talked about comes out. So I catch you guys later.